When looking at America as a country today, you can't help but to start with the President of the United States. Donald Trump is not a people's champ, but what he is a very divisive and dangerous con man. The billionaires saw to it that Donald Trump was elected, adding into their own special interests. The despicable part about Donald Trump's presidential runs are he got elected to a second term. This goes along the adage of fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. The problem with a person like Trump is he is a pathological liar. Every breath that he takes is filled with lies. We have instances on record and on video where this person has lied on a constant but has never been called out for it or had to explain it or straighten it out. We do know, for instance, that during his election run, he talked all this stuff about prices in America. And he made the promise that he would lower prices and inflation when he got in the presidential doors. Well, 1 year after his second term, we are dealing with higher prices of eggs, milk, gas, medical insurance, regular insurance, and any other thing that you can think of where prices are skyrocketing. Inflation is very ugly. So we know that he lied about that. Then we had this dude promise to not touch Medicaid or Medicare. He even said that he would veto any budget that would include touching Medicaid or Medicare. Then immediately after making that promise, Donald Trump's budget took $1 trillion from Medicaid, which caused over 17 million Medicaid patients to have issues, as well as raising the prices of Medicare Part D. So we know he lied about that. He promised to eliminate the national debt. Well, we absolutely know that that was a lie. He came out with his big ass ugly bill, and that caused the national debt to go up $3 trillion over the next decade. So we know he lied about that. This fool said that he would end all of the United States forever wars. He said that he would end the war in Ukraine within 24 hours of getting back into the office. And he said that he would end the war in Gaza. Lie, 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 lie some more. So we know he lied about that. And everybody knew that he was lying when he said that he would release the Epstein files. You can't help but laugh. I don't know who believed it in the first place. But you do know that once he got elected president, he backed away from that so fast. And then what parts were released of the Epstein files was so heavily redacted in black, where you couldn't read any names of anything that was going on. And the parts that was released was nothing. He knew his name is in it. He knew that very powerful people, probably billionaires, were in it. And he's doing everything, kicking and screaming to keep that up out of there. So we know he lied about that. The lie that gets me is when he was talking and he swore that he would never weaponize the government to attack any of his opponents. Common sense told us he was going to lie about it, and he openly has done such a thing. He's went after judges, prosecutors, any lawyers that were involved with any of his felonies, and anybody else that went against him for his lost election, all of it being retaliatory and attacks, even charging members of these positions with crimes themselves, a waste of taxpayers' dollars and of government employees. I know we all saw where he had pardoned everybody that he could from the January 6th insurrections. He didn't care about policemen being dead or injured or forced to retire. He just wanted to protect those racist people that was protecting their racist leader. And look at it like this: he kept that promise to them while lying to us. So that's a liar and then a butthole. And at the same time, while he was doing all of this pardoning of them, he released drug kingpins and other unscrupulous types. You know that his pockets were filled to get those people out. That's just the type of president we have. At every level that he can get something out of it, he will. Airplanes, money, promises, everything. So, lie, 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 lie. We know that it is still not being spoke about enough about these concentration camps that he has America building in these other countries. They're taking deportees, the countries where they're not from, placed in the concentration camps, and most reports state that these are also torture camps as well. Donald Trump went through his campaign using ICE to deport people. His promise was to deport criminals and gang members and illegal types. But because those numbers were so few and so embarrassing, he took the time to go after regular people as well, just to try to increase the numbers. He didn't care if it separated families, grabbing U.S. citizens at the same time. It didn't matter as long as they can cover up his lie. The biggest lie that this dude has said is when he tried to say that he wanted to unify the country. Now let's look at his definition of unify the country compared to other people. Other people unifying the country would say, if you live in the United States, no matter what color you are, no matter what religion you are, no matter what gender you are, we want to unify. His unify the country only seems like it's dedicated to one race only. What I mean by that is saying he's done everything in his actions to attack people of color. Starting with, he talked about the exhibits in the Smithsonian, speaking about Black history, how he attacked Black history and said that he doesn't think that that belongs in museums. Now we're going up to the most recent acts of him speaking about the civil rights era by saying that it helped some people, but it hurt other people. Understand something. When the Civil Rights Act came into play, people of color had problems voting, couldn't drink in the same water fountains, couldn't sit in certain places in buses. These things we know. We're talking Jim Crow. Now, for him to turn around and use that same action that brought some people up and says that that is reverse discrimination. Donald Trump and white hate group organizations think just alike. Because guess what? They think that that's reverse discrimination too. Those groups think that to get affirmative action was reverse discrimination too. So these words that Donald Trump is saying goes right along the lines of white supremacy 101. It's basic, it's simple, and he's leading it. They have a champion. We do not. And then when we look at that circus, when he was running for president, he got shot in the ear. We understand that that was orchestrated and that it was not a real deal thing. We do know that this came at a time when people were talking about Epstein, so use that as a distraction. We know that this was a time when his numbers weren't good, so try to use that to win sympathy votes of the undecided. So to this minute and to this day, I do not believe that this fool had an assassination attempt. I can't trust nothing from him or his administration. I also pay attention to Trump and his minions, and they are leading a movement to strike certain words from even the dictionary when it comes to people of color. You know that you are a racist if the word diversity makes you squirm like you got a rash. This is obvious and you can see it. If a racist hears the word racial equality, then you can see that evil look on their face. That's not what they want. And whenever you hear the words black history, you can just about see the smoke coming out of the ears of those white hate group members. And let's throw Donald Trump and his administration in that as well. These groups and their supporters, they love Trump so much because Trump pushes separatist views. They do not want an equality system. They do not want a diverse system. They do not want a black history to be shared. They know that this brings about their grandparents and their great grandparents' actions. And when the truth will be told years from now, history will have a name for the Trump era. It will freely and honestly call out the dupes who fell for a racist con man and swindler who gained fame from a damn reality TV show. America started showing its true colors once Barack Obama was elected president. A lot of racist organizations came out of the woodwork because there was a black president. The numbers were small and they weren't very loud at the beginning. But once you got to the point where they had someone who they could champion, like a Donald Trump who wants to run for president, and then you have billionaires backing his forum where he could try to run for president, then this is when they saw that Donald Trump shared their ideologies. It wasn't hard to understand that they would support Trump, and Trump needed them to win a presidential run. Now you had people of color that was split into two different groups. You had a section of people of color who decided that they're not going to vote at all. But you had another section of people of color who fell for the okey doke of that, what do you gotta lose? Well, now looking back at it, we had a hell of a lot to lose, and we are still losing. So when it's all said and done and history gets to tell us, it will expose the con man assistants like Giuliani and Nome and all of these other names, and expose them. Billionaires and Elon Musk have made Donald Trump their puppet to make sure that they get the things that they want from this guy. Those who have benefited from Trump are the rich. The rich are the beneficiaries of a Donald Trump as he gets his pockets filled. But the average American, the poor Americans, and I don't care if they're black or white or green or yellow or whatever you want to call them, that average person that supported Trump, those type of people on average were either illiterate or easily fooled and led. And they're okay with someone running the country with separatist views. With that, I'll close this out and I'll say thank you for listening. Have a great day and bye bye.